Hey guys, hope you're doing good. So today I have another banger for you guys. It's been a minute since I've released bangers, but while I was in Cape Town, I got to connect with Joe Kaplan. We had a call, and I got to know him, and ended up realizing that he's actually a pretty cool dude. So that was pretty cool. I don't really get to talk to a lot of people in the same industry as me. But Joe is a guy that I got to learn about what he's doing, what are his goals, and also why he's doing what he's doing. So that was pretty cool. I also got to share what my perspective is. So we got to share each other perspective. So this interview is going to give you guys like a behind the scene of what we're doing, why we're doing it, what are some of our goals, whether that be revenue wise, how we plan on achieving those, right? Because most of the time when you guys are getting content from us, you guys aren't necessarily getting the actual like behind the scene or behind the curtain talks, right? And in this interview we're generally talking as if it was just a one-on-one session, which it was. But so hopefully you guys will get to enjoy this. Please remember that growthspecialist.io is launching in the next few days. We have the waitlist below. If you're someone who's not necessarily pushing a crazy business, but you still want to be able to control your earning potential, then join the waitlist so that you can be part of the first 25 people who will be joining. We're going to run a beta, not necessarily a beta offer, but we're going to actually just start with 25 people so we can get the feedback from the first 25 people who go through the program. This is a 6-month program, by the way. So that would be cool. If you haven't watched my $500,000 thesis, then also check out the link below. It's a 4-hour webinar where I went over how to make millions. Maybe $500,000 this year or millions in 2023, and that's going to be really cool because that's the same $500,000 thesis that I'm following. And funny enough, when within this chat that we had with Joel, we're talking about the importance of being able to scale to literally 7 figures a month organically, right? I haven't necessarily done that. I don't think he has yet organically. So I also talked about that in the $500,000 thesis, because the first thing that you need to focus on is being great at generating attention organically. If you can master that, and then once you can master generating users or followers or subscribers from being able to generate from that first initial component, and then you can create your own community, and then from your own community you can convert them into clients, customers for your services or products. And this thesis works for any industry, whether that be e-com, software, coaching, consulting, agency services, right? So please, you owe it to yourself to go through that training because it has made me a lot of money. So hopefully you'll find it valuable. Bye-bye. Enjoy.
Mil a month is the goal, right? I just want to hit it. But at this point, I've realized that I don't actually want to scale too fast.
Yeah.
The faster you scale, the faster you're also going to go out of business.
Yeah, there's this billionaire, I don't remember his name, but he said the faster a business goes up, the faster it can come crashing down. So if you look at the biggest companies in the world, they actually took a lot of time. We look at Tesla and we think it's new just because it's popping off right now. They've been around for a long, long time.
Yeah. And I feel like this internet online money space, it's they have no understanding.
Tesla's been around since 2003, 20 years.
And it's now that they're doing crazy shit, right? But it's but anyway, yeah. So for me, it's I'm starting to figure out okay, let me actually build, users in a way, right? Consumers. And then from there, monetize, get a bigger lifetime value from clients instead of just trying to get a check or a piece of, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 once,
For sure, man. Yeah, I think I'm with you. When I hit $1 million a month with the agency and the consulting company, it was like Frankenstein, man. It was kind of a shit show. And my goal now, we were spending $180K a month on ads at the peak, which is wild, which is fine because with economies of scale, you're still very profitable. Now my goal is I want a healthy $1 million a month. I want it to be flawless. I almost want it to feel like I didn't have to force my way there, And
I feel that's more because, eventually a certain level of success also burns you out, right? So it's you want to do it, you want to rush it just to hit the number, but most people will hit the number and be you know what, that's not actually what I wanted. But it's no, that's not true. You just got burned out.
Yeah, or maybe how you did it was the wrong way. Dude, there's so many you're actually building a really good product and service delivery Most people are like, what's the, like, how can I go into like biz op and sell some crazy, make money online opportunity and make the most amount of money possible? And like, you don't realize now you're dealing with people that aren't as sophisticated. Business owners are much more understanding. They're patient. They see the big picture. So it's like, then you start taking shortcuts and then you're like, what the fuck am I even doing? Did I even want this? So dude, now like my goal is like, I want to scale to $1 million a month with $0 in ad spend.
Which, your audience is getting pretty big.
Yeah. The way I'd like to say is I've gotten some W's. I've had some like bits of success here and there with content, but I still have a long way to go because learning how to monetize, I always say like the most successful people in the world know how to get attention and monetize. If you look at like Elon Musk, Mr. Beast, Gary V's of the world, they know how to play both games. At least they can make the most amount of money based on who they are, right? Like if you've got the IQ of Jeff Bezos, you're playing, or Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, you're playing, that's a totally different game. But for like normal human beings, like you got to figure out one of those two. And I feel like I figured out how to monetize way before I figured out how to get attention. And now I'm like having to retrain my entire brain on how I approach everything because it's a totally different game.
Yeah, 100%. And like, what's your, because one thing is for me, it's like, I haven't really looked at a lot of your content. So like, bits and pieces, here and there, but like, how did you get started in the online space?
That's a great question. I mean, I've been in entrepreneurship since I was 18. My first company was Joel K Entertainment. I did DJing for weddings and college parties. And dude, I thought I was a baller. I was like making $300 to party a night. I was like, yo, this is legit. And like, now we look at like entrepreneurship, we're like, stay focused, no party, no dopamine. Like back then I was like partying Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I was getting paid. And dude, then I had a wedding and the bride's mom like went off on me. She was like, you're not playing the songs that we like. And I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. So I shut down that business, and then I went and started a software company called Mazoof. And dude, it did not go anywhere. It was a giant waste of like 2 years of my life. It was because like building a little tool, that's one thing. Trying to create like the next Facebook, like that's a whole nother animal.
What was the purpose of the app?
It was back then there weren't Facebook groups. So it was kind of like Facebook groups. We let people create groups based on interests. But like, just because we built it didn't mean that people would come. And I didn't know how to scale a software company. So then I actually got really interested in like solving the education problem. So I joined this. Do you know Andrew Yang, that Asian dude that ran for president of the United States, America?
Is he like a governor or a senator?
He's in government now, but before he was an entrepreneur. Okay. And he started this nonprofit called Venture for America, which like, I did go to college, even though it was a waste of time. And then when I graduated, I joined this program, Venture for America, and essentially they place you in like startups. I was like, and my dad was like, Joel, you had kind of a success, then you had a failure. Maybe just go and work at a startup and learn on someone else's dime for like a year or two. And I was like, all right, that's good advice. I'm going to do that. Then I joined that program. I went to join a startup, and my goal was to work in an education startup. I wanted to solve the problem of education in the modern world, which, as you and I know, it's like you provide more education than most high school to teenagers than most high school teachers ever will. Right. So I got really passionate about that. And I went to work for an education startup for 2 years. I went to hundreds of high schools all across the country, low income, high income, some of the best schools in the world, some of the worst schools in the world. I did a lot of work in like the third largest school district in LA, which was like massive. I worked with thousands and thousands of students, like literally in high school. So like I was going around and it was fucked. Like it's just, most people are clocked out. And then after that, I'm like, if you want to make a difference, you need money. That's when it all clicked for me. I'm like, they're not, you can't, it's really hard to make a change in the world and be poor. It's like, so I went and worked for a billionaire family. Do you know Cisco, like billion dollar tech company? It was founded, John Morgridge took it public, and I went to work for the Morgridge family, and I've literally seen them handwrite checks for $1 million to schools. Like, bro, I've seen them write $100,000 check to a teacher to fund a project that the teacher was passionate about. And they still weren't like having the impact. And then I realized, like, you got to solve the problem from outside. You got to get out of the school. And that's when I started like looking at other ways of learning. I started buying courses, and then I started an agency. I scaled that to multiple 7 figures, but ultimately I knew my passion was in going back to solve the education problem, which is why I started the consulting company Agency Lab. Because I truly believe like people like me and you have more impact on education today than any teacher, or maybe not any teacher, than most teachers, you know,
At least
in the
how
US.
to be financially free, at least.
Yeah, but isn't that foundation? Like teaching people how to think,
I mean, yeah, for sure. How to think and how to be financially free, right?
how
But
to creatively problem solve, how to persevere, how to face their fears, how to go after their dreams, how to question what society tells them.
I mean, there's still some entrepreneurs who are dumb, who waste their money, right? So I just got off this pod.
Bro, you're a funny guy. You know that? Like, I'm actually entertained by your content. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
I'm always just laughing to myself.
Yeah, like, because bro, like, I was saying this on the other pod. I was like, I've realized like the true meaning of success is just like, like, yes, finance is just a component that you need to get out of the way, but the goal is, just be yourself, right? So for me, I've never been the type of person to try to be like a character, to play like a scripted thing. No, it's like, I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna make my money, and then I'm gonna just be more me. You know what I mean? But coming back to what I was saying, it's like I've seen a lot of people who all they care about is like, I just want to know how to make money, right? And all their knowledge is based on, okay, yes, you know how to monetize, you know how to generate attention, you know how to scale companies, you know how to sustain it, everything, but like that's all they know, right? And that's all they care about. Like making money is the end goal. But I don't know about you, maybe you can share it. But like for me, money is not. It would be sad if money was the end goal. You know what I mean? But at least you're doing it. The way you're making your money is by having the impact that you wanted to have in the first place. So, I mean, you've made it. I don't know about me if my goal was to change the education system, but yeah.
I think like there's two thoughts on that. I truly believe that if you want to become a 7-figure entrepreneur, you need to become a 7-figure human being first. You need to know how to lead, how to face your fears, how to have a hard look in the mirror. If not, you're like, I've had my moments. Like if you fuck up as a leader, your team will leave you. Your clients will get bad results. You'll be afraid to have difficult conversations. So I think that like for me, helping people with business is the vehicle to helping people just become better humans. Also, I'm a huge believer in sell people what they want, give them what they need. Like, I'm not trying to revolutionize human psychology over here. Like, if people want money, let me show them how to make it. But then I'm going to sneak in a lot of lessons that I truly believe will help them in their life. And I think that's the way, that's the problem of like the current education system. You're giving people like things that they don't care about in a way that they don't even want to consume it. And for example, math is a very useful tool. Understanding P&Ls, like understanding your, cash in versus cash out, all those things. But that's not how it's taught to you in school, And I think that if you taught it as like, you guys want to make money, everyone would be paying attention in math class. 100%. So, or like even science, Elon Musk is a scientist in a big way. There's so many more interesting ways to teach the things that people ultimately need by giving them what they want on the front end. That's been my thought, at least. Yeah.
I think, if there was more context in the education system, let's say like, hey, it's not just learn this so you can pass the test. Instead, like learn this and then eventually it will help you connect all the dots so you can understand how to play this, this system or the world that we live in. Then everybody would probably be in math, learning science, learning psychology, right? Because at least they know that, okay, if I put this and this together, then I become, I can build pretty great things. But it's like everybody just goes to school so they can pass and just get a job, but there's no bigger purpose with school, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
I think like when you look at like very complicated systems like education, like homelessness, like just big problems in the world. The problem is also that it's snowballed so much into one direction, and through all these little negative decisions, the education system has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. You literally have teachers that want to help, but they're burnt out. They don't want to be there. They're underpaid. You have students that are having issues at home. They're having issues with even outside of school. They're showing up. They don't really give a fuck about what's going on. They just want to get out of there. You have all these problems that are snowballing. And it's like, how hard it is to stop a moving car? Like it's very hard. So I think like it's almost better to just start driving in the opposite direction with a totally different car. That's been my philosophy. That's how I'm going to tackle the problem. So
how was
anyways.
exiting your agency? Were you, because, and the reason why I ask, maybe so you can, understand what I'm trying to get at. Because I know that one of the hardest things as an entrepreneur to do is to give up on success, right? And that's why most people never really get to crazy success, right? They're not willing to give up on the good for the great. So like, how was it? Was it a decision you thought about for a while? Did you have second thoughts? Like, well, how was it?
No, that's a great question. I mean, this is me being real with you. It was really tough because me and my business partner like hated each other. Like we built this very successful company. It was profiting over 6 figures a month. I didn't want to sell it. I was pretty removed. I built it in such, all I was doing is coming up with high level strategy, acquisition, new offers. It was very easy. I wasn't doing any day-to-day, no account management, no sales, no media buying, nothing. And then no ops. Problem was my business partner is more of a lifestyle entrepreneur. He just wants to chill. I wanted to keep growing. I want to build an empire. Like I love the sport of business. I think money's definitely not the end goal, like you said, but the sport of business for me is like I want to play it and I want to play it big. And he didn't want to. So what happened is I started to keep building the business when he's chilling, and it creates so much resentment. That's kind of where it all started to just fall apart. Now I'm over here slaving away, trying to grow this business when he's chilling and he doesn't want to. And it's almost like our visions collided, right? Like we just did not have the same vision. And I remember talking to Hormozi about it. He's like, Joel, why don't you just leave? And we started talking. He's like, he actually said, the number one piece of advice that I can give you is to leave. And I was like, oh shit. That's when I really started to think about it. And that's ultimately why I sold, but it was a very good asset. Talking about LTV, I had 200 active clients at one point that only bought one thing. I could have easily upsold them on something more expensive. Think about it. If I had 200 active clients paying me anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a month, even up to like $2,500 a month, I could have launched one upsell for an extra $1,500 a month. Even if 1 out of 4 bought it, I could have increased my monthly profit by like 75 grand. So like, it was a great business. I think it taught me a really important lesson, man. Like if you're going to essentially get married in a business sense with someone, like that's really what it is. You got to have the same vision. You could be different styles. You could be different people. You can want different things, but the vision for the business needs to be the same.
One thing that's, cause I've had a lot of clients come in and, want to start a business and they're partnering up with they're doing partnerships. But one thing I've realized is that agencies don't actually ever work with partners. Like I have yet to find, unless people are married, a partnership where it lasts long, because when it comes to money and business is hard. So it's like, even leading yourself is already fucking hard to make sure you do what you need to do. So imagine 2 people, they all have specific interests. They're all, trying to do things. Maybe one person just wants to have, nice cars and just spend all his money and maybe take all the money out of the business. Maybe you just want to scale it. So it's like, it's so hard to, I personally would never start a business with another person. If I was to do it, I would maybe be the guy investing, but hey, please lead the thing. But we can't be 2 leaders in a company. This
can't
ends
have
up
2 cooks in the kitchen,
doesn't work.
Yeah,
So,
I think me and my current business partner Sergio, we realized that we're like, we can't have 2 CEOs. It doesn't work. So he actually started a separate company, and now we have 2 companies. So that works, right? It's like he owns 50% of mine, I own 50% of his, but I call him like once a week just to like get some high level advice, vice versa, and that's it. We're not involved in each other's day to day.
Not good, because I've seen it way too many times. I've had a few clients who start, they think that it's going to be a lot easier to just get someone who's good at something that you're not good at. It's like, bro, just hire that person. Stop trying to get a friend to become a business partner.
I think also, man, people rush into it. I tell people like, you got to date for about 6 to 12 months before you marry the person. Everyone's like, oh, I found a business partner. I'm like, you guys met in a Facebook group, relax. Like so they just talked about it one time.
People are just lazy, man. They're just looking for the easy way out. How did you connect with Hormozi? Because you had your session with him way before he blew up, right? So like, how did you, because for me, I think
reached
that I
out and I
started
said, hey,
listening.
where do I send the wire to?
But was he still mostly focused on his gym launch? Because I remember back in the day, he was going crazy with ads with gym launch. That's when I first heard about him. So one of his ad on a whiteboard, he was doing some numbers, explaining some numbers, and that's where I was like, "Yo, who's this? Who's this beef guy? His like
He's
arms are a
beefy.
lot, you know." I was like, "Shit, this guy is cool." And then I started listening to his pod. So like, where? How did you? What made you? Did you consume his content before you went to seek like advice from him?
To be honest, I wanted to find someone that skilled a B2B consulting company that was like kind of, I think agency owners, it's like part B2C, part B2B. You have some people that are like saying they're agency owners, but they haven't even started. You have some people that are agency owners and they're running a massive business. So you get kind of like a range of both. And I think with gym owners, it's pretty similar. You get some gym owners that are like, they just rented out like a small spot, bought some equipment, they're gym owners. You have some people that are like massive company. So I was like, who's the most similar to me in this audience that I could learn from that's crushing it? And I wrote down a whole, because I didn't want to learn from someone teaching like Amazon FBA or like it's totally biz op.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go someone that's like part biz op, part B2C, part B2B. And I felt like Alex was the nearest one. And I think I DM'd him and I said, hey, where do I send the wire for a day of consulting? And he said 35 G's. And I was like, okay, send me the wire instructions.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And what do you think you got them? I mean, maybe besides the advice to leave, maybe it's not even from the consulting you paid for, but like from Hormozi, what is the biggest lesson you took from him? Maybe it could be a recent lesson.
The tactical one was very clear to me, is always have a second more expensive thing to sell to your clients. It's the back end program, the back end, that's what he called it. So he's like that's where he made most of his money. Like, I think even I know you have a pretty high ticket front end offer, but like he would have told you have a second more expensive back end offer. That's what he would say.
Nice.
That was by far the tactically speaking, probably the most powerful. And then also the other tactically speaking, most powerful thing that he gave me was like, the guy does not care about taxes and investing. He's just focused on how do I get a bigger ROI? Maybe it's changed, but he's just focused on how do I get a bigger ROI on myself and what I'm currently doing. Instead of, he's like, Joel, you could worry about saving $1 million in taxes, or you could learn how to make an extra 10 mil. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
like what's the game is he playing in, right?
Yeah, it's almost like he's focused on the right things. That's what I got from it.
And what do you think about his recent switch? Because he's gone from being a guy who runs a business where he makes great money, right? Multiple 7 figures a month, to playing a completely different game, which is I want to get known. I want to play, which is, I want to just play in a bigger game, which is instead of scaling one business, what if I owned a piece of a bunch of good businesses and use what I'm good at, scale them and own them, eventually exit them if he can. I mean, I don't know if that's his plan, but it's like
his business is not, this is where most people don't understand. His business is not acquisition.com. That's just how his business is Hormozi. That's his real business. His real product is Hormozi. If Hormozi disappeared, just like if Tony Robbins disappeared, just like if Grant Cardone disappeared, the value of all those companies would go down immediately. Yeah. So I think like he's actually still building his main business, which is Hormozi. That's where he needs to put his most amount of energy. And I mean, obviously he's crushing it. So there's nothing but respect. And I think like acquisition.com is just how he's monetizing his product. The
brand. Business. Yeah. So, this is what I was trying to focus on.
His product is not acquisition. Most people don't get it wrong. His company is not acquisition.com. That's just how he's monetizing it. His company is Hormozi. Hormozi LLC.
But before he was less focused on personal branding. So like, he went from being just a monetized someone who just, hey, I want to make fast dough, to like, oh shit, I could build. If you look
at the most successful people in the world, they learn how to do two things: get attention and monetize. Mr. Beast, Elon Musk. And you know what's crazy? Peter Thiel, founder of PayPal, founder of Palantir, one of the earliest investors in Airbnb and Facebook. He's worth $4.1 billion. He says, if competition is for losers. What he means by that is you want to go into a competitive niche and destroy everyone else, kill the competition, like have no competition, be an order of magnitude 10 times better than the nearest competitor so that no one can even touch you. And he says there's 3 ways to do that. One is technology. That's the one he focuses in. He's like, how can I create a surveillance technology for Palantir that the government's going to buy and not going to want to work with anyone else? They just hire him. Number 2 is economies of scale. So like you look at the biggest companies in the world, the Toyotas, like the airlines. It's like, how can you create so much capital, so much labor that it's so hard for like to start how hard is it to start an airline company? It requires so much capital, so many resources, so much economic scale for it to financially make sense. So that's number 2. He says he kind of plays with that with technology, because with software, you can kind of create economies of scale. Third one, and he says he doesn't play it at all because he doesn't understand it, which I think is hilarious. The third area where he can have a competitive advantage over everyone else is building a brand. He said people can want a company 10 times more than the nearest competitor just because of the brand. And I think Hormozi, myself, Gary V, Cardone, I think unless you have economies of scale, which that is like, you would need so much capital, so much human resource, like, or unless you have some crazy technological advantage, I think that's how you can beat everyone. It's through creating a competitive advantage in your brand. And I think that's why he's doing that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
100%. And even for me, the reason why I've been going hard with content, because I think my story is also pretty much the same, right? I learned how to book appointments. I learned how to get sales calls. I learned how to collect money, right? But I still noticed that, like, man, I could build the best product. If nobody knew me, nobody liked me, bro, who cares if you have the fucking best product? Nobody cares. Nobody.
You are the product, remember.
Right? So I learned
product is you.
Let's go. Right. So that's where I started putting myself out, creating content. Right. And, and that's why for me, like even all my clients in the program, I'm telling them like, bro, nobody's going to buy a Facebook ad. But if you are able to provide value in the front end for free, maybe the way you do the ad, actually create a tutorial on how you deliver and give it away for free. And maybe after a person is consumed, you've helped them solve the problem. Maybe they'll get to a point where they're like, I don't want to keep doing this thing. Instead of going to buy from that guy who sent them a cold email, they'll just be like, oh shit, I saw this training on YouTube by this guy. Let me go buy from him. You know what I mean? So I've been preaching to everyone. It's like, my expertise is more in appointment setting and things like that, right? But I'm not really, I'm like, okay, there is a bigger game here to be played, right?
Yeah, the ultimate product that no one can beat is you.
Yeah.
No one can be better than you at you.
Yep. Facts.
I mean, unless you come up with some clone and shit. But then you got the technological advantage. And then it's then fuck the brand. Then you're selling that.
Yeah.
Then you're selling the clone device.
Would be crazy. Yeah. But so what is your goal with your company and your brand?
Just in general, like in financially speaking, is like just in general, what do I see? Like
everything, like financial and like what is your goal? Like, is your goal to just build a crazy brand where it's like you're having impact on such a crazy scale that the company is not about you anymore, or is it more of like, hey, how big can I take it and still have it be about you? Like what is
I think like me being honest, I'm still figuring it out. I think anyone that tells you, oh, this is my plan for my life is full of shit, because there's so many variables and so many things that will happen that can change that at any second in time. So I'm open-minded. That being said, here's the things that I know for sure. I want to build really good relationships with people. I want to live a good life where it's not just about making money, but also family, friends, things like that. I also want to have impact. So it's like, I want to make money and make a difference. I don't think and I actually think that they can come together. I think you making a difference in your clients' lives can be more impactful than you going out and building someone's home that got destroyed from a hurricane or some shit like that. Like, I think you can have much more of a ripple effect when you truly get into the roots of changing someone's financial life and teaching them how to be a good leader. I think, as far as what I want specifically, like specific goals, I want to build my personal brand. I want to hit 100K subs on YouTube this year. I want to scale to 1 million a month this year without ads. I think that's a big goal. And I think like ultimately I want to play the sport of business, man. Like I like the sport. I think I played basketball growing up, but I played in high school. I still play like in an adult league. but like, bro, I'm not going to the NBA. There's no way. But I could shoot. That's about it. And I think the point is like, but I love sports, man. I love competing. This is my passion, man. The sport of business. It's one of my passions. So I want to play it as long as possible. And I also know, bro, like everyone looks so like something that I realized in 2021 and 2021, I made a lot of mistakes because I started making more money than I was used to, and my brand started blowing up, or at least within our space, people started being like, "Oh, you're the GOAT of SMA," all these things, and it got to my ego, 100%. I made some bad decisions. I burned some relationships that I shouldn't have, and I fucked up. But you know what? It also taught me if I play the game the right way, in the long run, I'll actually win. And that's where I'm at now. Like I see all these people crushing it. I'm like, we're talking about 1 year here. Like I want to play over the next 50 and see who wins. So that's how I'm thinking about things. I know that's not really a clear answer, man, but I don't know. To me, I'm just like in life, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I learn by doing. It's hard for me to learn from like reading or things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, as long as I feel good in my life and I feel like aligned with what I'm doing, I'm making money, I'm making a difference. Like I'm not really too worried about the big vision. I know it's going to take care of itself. So
yeah, 100%. No,
but maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should be very clear. I don't know.
I don't know. For me, I've tried not to take business too personal. It's like I'll set out goals, revenue goals, whatever. But I mean, even for myself, I think it's more, I see it more of a game. It's more like okay, cool. We had got to this level. Let's just keep playing. You know what I mean? Like, let's see if we can, do this lap faster, right? Next time, right? But no, I think, impact, a lot of people, because I see a lot of people who are, who focus too much on like, oh, this guy's making a lot of money, and they start hating on someone who's making a lot of money. It's like, for sure, it's weird. It's like there is a way you can make money by not having the best product. But at a certain point, even if you're not offering a good product and you're making a lot of money, you're still offering something that people actually enjoy, and they're willing to trade their money for your thing, right? So it's like, it's so weird to figure out like, okay, but where am I really building a good product, or am I doing the right thing? Am I playing the long-term play, or am I still just trying to sell the quick thing, make money fast, right? So it's like, how do you know when you got the right product too, especially when you have a brand?
You have like I'm sure you've seen like a bell curve. Bell curve like shows like a graph of like essentially averages. You have like 10% in the bottom. Mm-hmm. You got like the next 10%, like slightly more. Then you got 60% in the middle. Some are 30% are below average, 30% are above average, and then you got like 10% that's really above average, and then top 10%. It's like a huge bell curve. I believe that in terms of product services, you're always going to have someone at the bottom. Like if you want to have a billionaire, you got to have someone that's got zero. Like you can't. That's in debt for the rest of their life. You it's just averages. I'm not trying to. I'm a realist and an idealist. I know how the world works, and I'm going to try to make it better. But I'm also not trying to change how the world works. Like earlier, I said I'm not trying to change human psychology. There's also going to be people at the top that are extremely successful with or without you. Right. So it's like, in terms of like creating a service or product, I've accepted there's going to be the person on the bottom that even if I create the best product, best service on the planet, even if I built them an agency, set the appointments, close the appointments, got them the client to pay, did the result, there's going to be a way for them to fuck it up. They're going to fuck it up, and there's going to be a dispute or some shit. That's the bottom. Then the people all the way at the top, you could tell them that they could only get clients through referrals and direct mail, and they'll find a way with or without you. And I think that your job with your product or service is to move the bell curve to the right as much as possible. So like my job is not to guarantee people success, 7-figure agency. My job is to guarantee people's chances of success increasing towards a 7-figure agency. So I asked myself, are the chances of someone's success going up through my product or service? And am I very, very clear on that? If the answer is yes, I think I have a good product or service. If the answer is no, then I think I have a bad product or service.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've never viewed it that way. That's good. That's good.
There's still people like, bro, there's people you're going to set the appointments for and you know they're going to mess it up.
Or there are people who you show them what to do and they'll say that is the wrong way to do it. I'm like, bro, you haven't done anything in your life. How can you, in what, like, how is your thought process to think that you know better? Like, I don't know, but yeah, people are funny, man. People are funny.
Your job is to get people at the bottom, give them a shot at success, increase their chances of getting out of that bottom percentile. And your job is to help people that are going to succeed with or without you do it faster and more efficiently.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're going to be like, I saw one of your stories. It's like, you don't really, at least from what I saw, you're not buying that many mentorship programs or coaching and all that stuff. You're like, you believe in buying services is another thing, that things where you trade your money for time saved, which I think is smart. And I think like, man, I don't even know what I was going to say. Blanked out. That doesn't matter. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But,
quick question. What do you do? What do you do? Like, besides, is there anything that you like doing, an expensive activity? So as an example, I like cars, right? So like, one of the biggest thing is like, whenever I make money or whenever I set goals, I'm like, oh shit, I'd love to have this car, right? But like for you, I haven't really seen anything that, like, what do you spend your money on?
I don't, I just,
so do you just
I don't know, bro. I like, to me, it's not about the, like, I spend my money on travel, comfort. Like, I have a chef, I have a cleaner,
Nice.
I have a nice house that I bought. I spend my money on first class. Convenience for me, comfort. I'm about to take a 1-week vacation to a really nice spot. Like, that's what I like to spend my money on. And I think like, I'm not like, trying to say, besides like, what do I do outside of work? I play basketball multiple times a week. I like to go snowboarding, hang out with friends. It's pretty easy life, man.
Good. I feel like most people who are successful don't really have a lot of distractions or like things that they're attached to much, right? Like even for example, like I like cars, but it's like, the cars, when I've got the first nice car, like I was making way more, like I got the car that, like getting it wasn't really anything, right? For me, like it wasn't even the car of my dreams, right? Even if I could have afforded it, but I've personally been keeping myself from getting the thing that I really want, because I feel like once I get the thing that I really want,
yeah, lazy, it's over.
Not only that, but I feel like I'll get too used to getting the shit I want. And I feel
Which
like
is also sad, man. I like one of the things I like to spend money on food, like really nice restaurants. And I can go to the nicest restaurant in Denver. It's called, my favorite one, it's called The Kitchen. It's actually founded by Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk. And it's gotten kind of boring. Kind of sucks, honestly.
that's the thing. So I feel like it's like although putting things on a pedestal isn't great.
Bro, I'm like Uber Eats. Yeah, I got Uber Eats from this place now. It's like a 5-star restaurant.
So like the best things become like normal, and it's like, it's like fuck. So you have nothing to look forward to. But I feel like, one of the thing that I've, I learned this from Taylor Welch, and I think it was probably one of the best thing that I could hear. He said, like, you got to figure out a way to structure your day so you always have something to look forward to, right? Because even if I like to work, I enjoy working, right? But I still generally also at the end of each day I want to live, because it's like work, at the same time, it's like, even if we're the business owners, it's still work at sometimes, like at the end of the day, if you've really produced, like, bro, you'll get at the end of the day, and you'll feel like a little like, fuck, man, I'm drained today, right?
Yeah, of course.
But one thing I've realized is that when I have something to look forward to,
you're excited.
And it doesn't even have to be something crazy. It could even be going to the movies, right? I'm like, fuck, bro, I'm gonna kill it today. Because I know that, at the end of this day,
That's
I might
smart.
go on a date, right? So it's like, I'm not waiting for, oh, you know what? Let me wait for $1 million a month until I'm happy. It's like, bro, I'm good today.
Bro, absolutely. I play basketball multiple times a week, hang out with friends, go out to dinner. Like, yeah, I try to live my life too, man. Like, remember what I said to you? One of the things that I care about is like having good relationships and enjoying life, Doesn't mean that it can't be simple. I've also overcomplicated it. I thought I wanted to travel. Last year, I traveled everywhere, bro, and I was exhausted. I got so tired of traveling. So it's like,
I hate traveling personally.
I was like, oh, I'm going to travel the world. After
Yeah.
like the 4th spot, I was like, I'm going back. And I bought a house. No, that's what happened. And I bought a house.
Why did you buy a home? Why not just rent
So-
and maybe invest in real estate? Like, why not?
Because I didn't want to make I wanted to make a life decision, not a business decision. I wanted to find a place that I feel like it could be called home, that doesn't have to be about like, actually we bought it at the worst time, but it's not an investment. It's not a financial decision. This was a life decision.
True. I respect that.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to travel. And then I came back and I was living in Airbnbs, and you could only stay there for like 30 days. So I was like, and I didn't want to get an apartment. So I was like, dude, I'm done traveling. So at least for now.
Cool. How big is your team right now?
It's like 30 people.
Nice.
It's like 150K a month in salary.
Nice. And do you have people locally? Like,
there's a client success manager that lives in Denver, and I never see him. So, or it's like my business partner Serge is in Miami, and we got a bunch of people in Miami because that's definitely more of like a city where a lot of entrepreneurs live, and they like see each other every once in a while. So I don't know. I think like, so to answer your question, like we've built it all remote.
Okay, cool. One thing I've been thinking about though is like bringing people in person, not necessarily being like, hey, we're going to work from an office, but like having like a few days a week where we're in an office. Like, I don't know. I feel like
there's huge value in that.
Right? Because I feel like you don't build the kind of bonds that like you'll go to war for, right? If you're just like on a Zoom type of thing.
I think there's a massive trade-off. I think like there's pros and cons to both, right? And you have to like choose your strategy. Like I think but I think as far as like culture, in person will think about it like this. Let's say that a salesperson is slacking or in a rut, and you hop on a sales call with them and help them close it. And they could not only hear it on a Zoom, but actually be there in person in the flesh, and you're closing it together. That will do more for that guy's sales rut than anything else. So it's like, there's definitely a magic in being in person. You're also able to diagnose people's problems a lot faster. Like one of the lessons in business is like most business problems are actually life problems. And a lot of times when people aren't performing, it's because something's going on in life. And a lot of the times it's hard to see that and read between the lines over a Zoom. So I think when you're in person, you very quickly diagnose the true root cause of most of your business issues. But then, you might say, I know you mentioned Taylor. I know he he asked everyone to move to Nashville or not Nashville. Yeah. Was it Nashville? I don't know. I don't remember where. Like, that's a hard ask.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah. He switched from, he got out of traffic and funnels. I think
I'm not sure.
They sold it, and I think they scaled too fast. Classic story. Two partners, bro. I tell you, bro, partnerships, bro, never fucking works.
Unless you do two separate businesses, but then at that point you got leverage,
Yeah, but no, it's cool. Yeah. So what's your goals for this year besides growing let's say once you hit 100,000 subs? Do you think with 100,000 subs you'll be able to do $1 million a month profit with no ads?
Yeah, maybe revenue. I don't know about profit.
Yeah. I'm talking about that.
The biggest competitor to me is Iman, and he's doing like 2 million a month, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but
yeah. His I was at a bar last night. He was there. He had all the girls. Girls, and the guys I came with went to his fucking table.
Yeah, he's a celebrity for sure.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest like
He's very
personal.
smart.
He's so smart when it comes to branding. It's I mean, I don't want to talk about this but here, but it's like, you know, he's walking around like 10, 15 girls, right? Because that's what young guys probably
It's
want.
smart. He positioned himself perfectly. He's like the Andrew Tate that is actually achievable and within reach. Because when you see it, what happened is Andrew Tate blows up, and then Andrew Tate is like people love him, but he also feels like he's older. You know, he's like, it almost feels like it's not possible. It feels too far away. It's like if I told you, yo, $1 billion, you'd be like, well, let's worry about $1 million a month first, right? Like, and I think that Iman comes around and it's like younger, attainable. Yes, believes everything that Tate believes, but like in a more digestible way, easier to access way. And I think he just rode that wave hard. I think he's very smart, man. He's a really, really smart guy. But I like to look at what's possible. I think if he's doing that much in revenue, it's definitely possible.
100%, 100%. Yeah. So like, how do you convert your people? Like, do you have setters? Do you have, what's your process? Do you have products where people can buy without having to get on a sales call? Like,
I tried the whole low ticket product thing, man.
Yeah.
It sounds better than it actually is. You know, that's been my experience. It's like such a sexy messaging, like get paid to get clients. It's such a good front end messaging, but it doesn't work as advertised. And I'm like, who do you know that's actually doing it to this day? Very few people. There's really a few ways. If people are consuming my content, they can book a call. We have 5 SMA clients guaranteed program. That's essentially our main program where we can help you get 5 clients guarantee as long as you follow our process. And it's not anything crazy. It's just exactly what we would do to get 5 clients. Like maybe like 2 years ago, we started an agency from scratch and scaled it to 50K a month in 6 weeks, way too fast. Just to like actually see what what inputs would need to happen to do it very quickly. And that's how we kind of reverse engineer our guarantees. And then people can either book a call, or if they DM me, you know, I have a DM team that helps me out with messages, and I'm still on there, but obviously I have DM team as well that supports me.
Yeah.
I used to be a huge paid ads guy, but I think paid ads work extremely well for when people are buying what you offer, not who you are. So like if I'm selling a service, paid ads work very well. For agencies, at this point, I've helped 87 agency owners get to 100K a month, and 9 out of 10, like 90% of those used paid ads. And the reason why is because if you're selling just like a deliverable, it's a lot easier to get someone to buy quickly versus if you're getting them to buy into who you are, it's almost like a relationship. It's less transactional. How long does it take to build a friendship? It takes time.
Yeah.
You just meet someone in the street and you're like, we're best friends. No, it takes time to build trust, loyalty, all that good stuff. So I think like when people are buying coaching, they're buying who I am, who Iman is. They're buying Iman, they're buying me, they're buying whoever the coach is. They're not buying coaching. So I think like we used to do paid ads, but now I'm trying to get away from it because even if we were getting a shit ton of appointments, it's like it's not the same as someone building a relationship with me on YouTube. So
I know that's something I've realized. It's like, man, to me personally, like even if paid ads, I mean, for me, I've till this day, bro, I have yet dialed in a single ad that gets me
help you with that. I can help you with that
at a specific cost, and I can spend more money. I have yet to figure that shit out. I don't fucking know.
I will help you. I have that funnel built out because I did done for you agency appointments last year, and we scaled that offer to 650K a month. So,
but the thing is, because
I'll give you the funnel and the ads.
But
the promise, here's the thing though, with your ads, you're selling you. You have to do the opposite. You have to sell the service. Like agency owners, what if I guarantee to get you 30 appointments in the next 30 days or your money back using our system without paid ads, without anything like that. Like done for you agency appointments
Yeah.
is the offer.
But literally just maybe even just put up a graphic with text like, hey, here's 100 appointments, click to learn more type of thing.
And I think you already have the organic to build trust. So it's like, it would crush.
Yeah. One for me, the strategy that I've been trying to push is generally just spend on ads just for impressions, not necessarily for like, oh, I need appointments. Because I feel like once someone is in our ecosystem, like, yeah, I don't know many people book calls faster than us at organic. Because it's just I just need to be like, hey, just learn about me, maybe check out one of my stories or check out my YouTube videos. That's all I care about, right? Once that's done, okay, cool. Let us do the rest.
I think you could scale with ads as a separate channel though.
Yeah.
I think you could.
I feel like for me, it's more of a lack of who and not really about, because one thing I've realized is that what you're good at actually ends up costing you, a lot more success if you try. Because for me, what I've realized is that I'm trying to get less away from like, oh, I can do ads. Okay, cool. Let me go and become the best advertiser. It's like, hey, how about I just find, someone like you who's really has a great experience to come in the company and give them a right incentive and give them money. Like, hey, go print us some money, right? So I have yet to find a great media buyer who understands organic as well as paid advertising to really lead that department. So right now it's like we're spending a few grand a month and then we'll just stop after. Or I won't create the creatives. People will be like, hey bro, what the fuck? It's been
this is your ad. Let me pull it up one sec.
Yeah.
Like this copy would crush. I gotta find it though. It's like, attention agency owners, saw prospecting. Is your time really worth spending countless hours cold calling, sending DMs, and wasting thousands of dollars on ads just for prospects to tell you to fuck off? It's time to fire yourself and have other people do the prospecting for you so you can focus on scaling your agency, not working another 9 to 5. We guarantee to get you 30 appointments in the next 30 days or you don't pay. And we'll even build out an entire automated prospecting machine, all done for you. Click the learn more button below and book a call with our team to find out how you can get 30 appointments in the next 30 days. Like, that would crush.
Love it. I'll re-listen to this.
Put it out there.
Put it
and
out.
I put my money where my mouth is. If it doesn't work, I'll pay you the ad spend back.
Would you go?
If you don't generate book calls, I will literally send you whatever you spend on ads. Just don't go nuts. Like, spend like 1K first, see if it works,
Yeah. So would you just do like add to book a call funnel, or would you like do click lead gen and then book a call funnel?
Personally, I like to put a Calendly on a landing page. That way people like have to click and reread the offer one more time. And then I'd rather just go book a call with an entire application on the Calendly. Anytime that we added an opt-in, yes, you can dial them, but our cost per book call went up too much for it to make sense.
Okay.
I'd rather have a lower cost per book call than more leads to call.
Interesting.
See, the problem is when you get people on the phone now with ads, ads work really well when you're selling what you offer, not who you are. So it's like the opposite of personal branding. So if I ran an ad and then I saw them coaching, they're like, but dude, I don't know you. Why would I get coaching from you? For you, it's like, well, we have the best service in the planet. You should buy.
Yeah. And
I think you'll actually attract some, and if you actually, one of the things that, whether you realize it or not, you did realize it. If you have a sophisticated offer, you attract sophisticated prospects. So, and a lot of people might not actually know who you are yet. So I think like some of the big agencies, like we had like tier 11 opt into our ads. We had like Client Boost, like some massive 8-figure agencies that were like, hey, can you run our ads? Banff Media, like some big companies. And I think if you ran ads, you could get in front of those. And as long as you have a sophisticated offer like yours, you could sell them.
Yeah.
We told them our program was 10K. They were like, oh, 10K a month. That's what they said.
One thing I've realized though is like, because we've had a few clients, come in making multiple 7 figures, but I've realized like our offer is sophisticated, but it's not sophisticated for companies that are too big, because I don't want, because they'll come in and they'll get one of their employees to go through the stuff and to be leading the builds that we're doing. But it's like, nah, man, they're lacks. They lack the thing, right? So it's like, you know, I can't talk to you because you're just an employee. So it's like, it's hard for me to you know, to pour into you and to show you how to manage the thing, right? So they'll do like this, the one thing, they'll be like, oh, we got a few setters, we got cold email running, oh, we got this, you know, whatever content strategy, let's say blah, blah, blah. They'll do it once, twice, and they'll be like, oh shit, it's not working. But like, I can't tell that employee to, hey, keep doing this shit. But if it's an entrepreneur, if it's a business, I'm gonna be like, hey, what the fuck else are you gonna do, bro?
I think you can.
Ever. You think I can?
Hell yeah. Yeah. I think like you have such a good service too, man. I would be tapping into some high net worth niches, like prospecting for lawyers, for dentists, for financial wealth managers, like.
Yeah. But that's hard, like, man. But it's complexity too. So the reason why
there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off. But I think
yeah.
But you're also selling to, whether we like to admit it or not, like a broke audience, which means that there's also more room for impact. So if your goal is impact, if you help someone grow from 0 to 10K a month, you're changing their life. Whereas like if you help a lawyer go from 100K a month in their practice to 150K a month, you're not changing their life, even though you're making them more money. So I think like, if it were up to me, man, if I was starting a service, I would go into a high net worth niche that has money and just figure out how to be better than everyone else. But I would not be selling to broke people.
Yeah.
If the goal is impact, I think there's way more impact to be had helping someone go from 0 to 10K.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's definitely hard to, you know, it goes back to that thing, right? Leaving something that's working, right? But for me right now, I'm currently building, you know, like the one thing, you know, I think you said something about, you know, Hormozi cares more about ROI, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm more on it in the phase of like, I want to build like our product line, right? Where it's like, I can make money with the brokies, but I could also come into someone who's making $100,000 and be like, hey, bro, like I can scale you to $500,000 a month without you needing to spend much money on ads, right? But like when I do come in his business, it's not going to be more of like, hey, this is what to do. It's like, I want to come, have the setters ready, have the content, maybe have a content team, maybe have someone specifically focused on scaling the audiences, you know, for the person, right? But it's like, I have to do it in the right order. Even if I could come in and be like, oh, I just did this, I can help you do it. It's like, where's the competitive edge? It's like, there's a lot of people who have done it. So it's like, then I just become another one of those. But if I do spend time building the infrastructures, the back end for each single thing that has allowed me to win, every single thing, let's say I'll pick maybe 4 components that are really key. Then I have the fulfillment for each thing. Then I can go to anyone who's, you know, maybe even agencies or month, right? And be like, hey, fuck your model. Let's go to the next level, right? But we'll take this 1 year, 12 months, we'll build out the whole thing, right?
How are you learning? Because you clearly have high IQ and you have wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
If you're not paying for mentors.
I think so the reason why I don't, so let me tell you this. I've realized that most people free content is better than their fucking paid content. So I don't need to go pay a billionaire to learn how he thinks, right? Because if he jumps on a podcast and they ask him a question, he's going to drop the most valuable insight. So I've stopped reading books. Like I don't read books much because I just feel like it takes too, bro. If I need to go to a mil, from 1 mil to 10 mil, bro, just tell me to increase the lifetime value of my client. Don't fucking tell me a bunch of bullshit, right? So, you know, like this is the stage where I'm trying to scale to 8 figures this year, right? And it's all about lifetime value, right? But it's like, I could probably find some guy online on Instagram doing Instagram shout outs or doing paid ads who's doing 2 mil a month, right? And he could probably tell me, like, oh, do this, do this, do this. But it's like, no, there's one path, but there's a bunch of different ways to do it. But the real simple way, it's just one answer. I don't need so like if I buy something, I'll buy something because I see someone really killing it. Like if I buy from you, it's generally because I want to pour into you and to build a relationship.
You could buy for the network. Like I'm a huge believer now. Like I'm giving everything away, man. I think like if people buy, it's because they want personalized coaching, personalized support, accountability, community. That's access. That's it. Like we have 100 coaching calls a month in our program. 100
Wow.
for everything that you need in your agency. You need help with name anything in your agency. DM setting, we got a call. Cold call, we got a call. Sales, we have a call. Advanced sales, if you're better, you got a call. Like, bro, operations, finance, client success, fulfillment, everything. So like, if you want that personalized support, then you sign up. If you want the information, it's free.
Yeah.
99% of people don't take action on the free information anyways. So it's like, why does it even matter?
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think what's made me, have an easy time at scaling the business is just like, I don't value things based on like how much I've paid for, right? It's like if something, I hear something, it might be on a pod, it might be on a YouTube video. I'll be like, oh my fucking God. Go on my notes, write it down. And generally just what I like to do, right? So I can show you. Whenever I get insights, so like I'll literally put it in my phone screen. Like if you look at this, there's like how to get to 500K a month, right? And I have like 5 things that when I open my phone, even if I'm not, it's just a few things, right? And I remember, I just see it every day, right? So yeah,
that's cool, man. Yeah, I set my goal. I changed my background, but I used to have my goal.
Yeah.
But then I wanted a nice background.
Oh man, yeah.
Actually,
but
you want to know what's happened? I had like my goal on there, and I forget who I said. I gave my phone. You know when you're like at the gym and like you don't have your charger, and you're like, "Hey, can you charge my phone?" I like looked at my phone, and I was like, "That's so funny that they're just like 5 million a month."
Are looking at it like, oh.
Anyways,
yeah. But yeah, I don't know how long you have.
I gotta run, man. I gotta go get a fresh cut. So 17 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, I have to go eat. It's pretty late, but I haven't ate yet. But yeah, man.
Dude,
no,
thank
it
you for
was
having
amazing.
me, man.
Yeah, it was amazing jumping on a call with you. And yeah, man. I think people will love this chat. And yeah.
You're really smart, man. You're gonna be very successful.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think the fact that you care but you aren't attached is one of your greatest skills. It seems like you really care, but you don't take it personally. That's what I mean by attached. That's extremely hard. It's very hard to have both. It's hard to like care and give a fuck, but then also not be attached. Because if you care, normally you're attached.
100%. Yeah, I think that's me. It's like I do care. I definitely care about winning, but I also like sometimes I'll be like,
whatever.
Whatever. Like don't take it too personal. Where it's like, because I feel like the people who have a hard time at winning, it's people who are like every little detail. It's like, oh my God, like we didn't do it this month. It's like, oh, I didn't put out a piece of content, or here I'm in Cape Town, the Wi-Fi, blah, 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 load shedding and shit like that. It's like, oh, I can't do it. But it's like, no, man, success takes time. So people are always in a rush trying to perfect everything. But it's it's a balance. You need to counterbalance things,
You have it. That's what I think. That's one of your best skills as a leader, as an entrepreneur, whether you knew it or not. That was one of my biggest takeaways.
Yeah.
It's really hard. So anyways, man, thank you for having me. It was great.
Thank you so much, man. Have a beautiful haircut.
Thank you, man. Peace out.
Hey, thank you for watching my video. One thing that I want to ask you is please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with the people in your circle, people who can find this content helpful. And before you actually leave, I have a 5 days to 50K a month program with the right offers, the right mindset, decision-making, training, everything you need when it comes to scaling an agency, high-ticket coaching or consulting business past 50K per month, from the client acquisition systems to how to actually scale and sustain scale. If you want to access it, click the link below. Yeah, find it helpful.